Hey guys, back again for another great video on another beautiful day. Summer's finally here. I'm starting to feel better, starting to feel like the world might not end at any minute, and things are slowly starting to open up. I'm not saying the problems have gone away, because they really haven't, but people are starting to not panic as much and learn how to live with these problems that we have in society. Only talking on the virus front. When it comes to inequality, that's a completely different issue that I don't know if we have any real answers for at this time, but I'm getting a little political. I don't really want to get political right now because then people will start yelling at me. I don't like to be yelled at. But my point is one of the projects that got shut down when all this started has started up again. And so next month, they've hired me to be their assistant director, and they've told me I will be able to video a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. It's a very skeleton crew because of still virus concerns, but I can still kind of get the process going and show you a little bit of the very essential. There's only going to be like 7 people on crew because they don't want any more than that because of social distancing concerns. Again, point being is I can show you some of the stuff going on behind the scenes, and yeah, I guess I'm rambling a bit here, so let's roll that bumper and we'll get on to the video. I don't know what that was. When people first decide to start getting into video, whether it's for personal reasons or they want to vlog or they want to be on YouTube or even they want to create commercials or movies or films or anything like that, usually the first thing I tell them is don't neglect your audio, because it's not the first thing that jumps out to you when you start any kind of video. You think, well, the audio's there. I can hear what they're saying, so that counts, right? But no, it doesn't. Some people don't exactly know what audio route they want to go in, so I try to find microphones and audio solutions that are at a low price point that can kind of show them a little bit of what those kind of mics can do. So that's basically what this video is. It's going to be entry-level microphones to see how many of these actually can get decent sound out of and how many can't. I'm not going to do any post-processing on any of these mics, so you can hear how they sound directly out of the camera. And yeah, so this video started with Andycine sending me a mic that costs about $30. So this is the Andycine M1. It's an on-camera microphone. It's sitting on top of my camera right here, but the audio you're hearing is coming out of my boom mic still. And while this is more to be compared with like the Rode Micro, I don't have a Rode Micro. The only on-camera microphone I have is the Deity D3. Deity D3 is a much more expensive mic. It's about $300 compared to the $30 of the Andycine, so I don't expect the M1 to compete with this Deity microphone. I just want to see how close it comes and see if you can use it at all, if it's worth any money whatsoever. Because some mics, even though they're cheap, they still aren't worth that $2 that you spent on them. Okay, so while opening the Andycine mic, it comes with the mic itself, which is this little itty bitty guy right here. Comes with a little windscreen, which probably won't help at all, but it also comes with this giant dead cat, which probably does help. If you don't know what a dead cat is, I know it's a cryptic name, but it's the name of these big wind socks to cut down on the wind noise. It also comes with what looks like a very cheap 3D printed shock mount, and a shock mount replacement, and 2 cords. The cords are probably one for cell phones and one for camera, because believe it or not, the ports on cameras and cell phones are actually a little bit different. If you see a 2-prong like this, it's usually for camera. If you see a 3-prong, it's for your cell phone. So the Andycine doesn't come with a case, but it's so small you can probably put it in any sort of little bag that you can find. The Deity, on the other hand, comes with this nice hard case. It comes with a much nicer cord, a much nicer 2-part shock mount, and this system that you can move the mic around a little more and tighten it wherever you want. It comes with a branded windsock on the front of it. Looking at these mics side by side, there is absolutely nothing but a port on the M1, while on the Deity mic, it has a port for the audio. It has a charging port because you do have to power this mic because it's powerful enough that it needs power, where the Andycine does not. It has indication lights and low-cut filters and a turn knob so you can control how loud the microphone is. So you can see where all that money is going, let alone how these two mics sound next to each other. So we've seen what they look like. Let's take a look at what they sound like, because that's really going to be the key there. So this is what the audio sounds like directly out of the camera. This camera I'm using right now is a GH5. Some cameras have better on-camera mics than others, but overall, they're usually all crap. So the audio you're getting right now is from the Deity D3 on-camera mic from Deity, which used to be owned, or maybe still is, by Aperture. It's on top of the camera right now. I'm going to pull it off and pull it closer, because the closer you have the mic to something, the better it sounds, obviously. And now we come to the Andycine M1 on-camera mic. This is a microphone that's absolutely for on-camera and not for cell phones like some of the other mics on this list. But unfortunately, the mic that I think it's competing with, I don't own, and I didn't find anyone on short notice that had it. So obviously, with this being 10 times more the price, it sounded a lot better than the Andycine. Sometimes mic location is more important than what mic you actually use. So now let's see what these two sound like with the mic up next to our talent. Me. I should never consider myself talent. Let's go to the clips. Now I have the Deity D3. You can actually see it in the shot here. The reason there's I probably should stop wiggling it around because you probably won't get very good audio. But the reason there's two cords hanging out of it right now is because I didn't charge it in anticipation of this video because I wasn't prepared. So it's connected to a battery source right now so it can run. Alright, now we got the Andycine mic right up next to me. It probably sounds a lot better because every mic sounds better closer. But I'm very intrigued to see what a $30 on-camera mic will sound like because Andycine is a company that really makes good stuff for the price. And I'm curious to see their entry into the mic space. So let's go back to the drawing board and see how these compared with one another. So it's a little bit closer there, wasn't it? When you get the mic closer to the people, not talent, it makes mics a lot better. And I hear you asking, well, if it's on the camera, how do I get it closer? Well, for one, you can use a camera. This is a Micro Four Thirds camera, and having a full frame camera would be able to get that camera closer to yourself. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put one of those little magic arms out, and it'll extend out to where the lens is. And well, here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so first let's show you what it looks like when the shock mounts on it. With the Andycine, it's real easy. You just pop this cheap one on here. With the Deity, it's a little more convoluted. They're really snug, which they should be if they're good. Separate where the opening is, slide one end in, and do the same thing on the second one. Make sure you're not covering any holes or ports, and voila. Now from there, with the Andycine, normally you would just put it on the hot shoe right here. Let me get a higher apple box, hold on. Okay, now that I got a full apple box here, we can get it a little higher. And so you just take the little cold shoe mount, put it in the hot shoe slot, tighten it up, grab the cord that goes into your camera, plug it into the back, and plug it into the mic port on your camera. All done. Pretty simple, but again, it's because it doesn't have a lot of options. And if you want the dead cat on it, you just slide off the windshield and slide on the dead cat. Let's listen to the difference between with and without the dead cat right now. So you can see it cuts down a lot of that wind. You can still hear it because you can hear me breathing. You're used to that sound, but it's really that distortion that it's cutting out more than anything else. So with the Deity system, first you slide it onto the hot shoe, and then you decide how far forward you want the mic. Sometimes it's okay to have it back, especially if it's on gimbals or something, because you can balance it easier. But I like it all the way forward for multiple reasons. I like to use the viewfinder a lot on these cameras, and when it's back, I can't do that because it's hanging out past. But when you push it all the way forward, now you can. So once you decide where you want to put it, then again, you plug into the microphone port, and you hit this L button on the top, and you'll see a little indicator when it's on right there. But let's get to that situation I was talking about before with getting the mic close. This is a super clamp on a friction arm. And so what I want to do is take this super clamp off the friction arm and put on a cold shoe mount. Put the mic on the friction arm. And there you go. Now it's much closer to your talent, and you will probably get a lot better audio. I know it looks a little silly, but sometimes getting good shots and good audio is more important than how things look. Normally when I'm using lavaliers, I'm using this mic. This is the Rode SmartLav Plus, which is actually a microphone that's intended for cell phone use. But with a simple adapter, you can turn this into a mic that will go on your camera. The adapter doesn't come with it, but it's not very expensive. So overall, this is a nice build. The cord's nice and sturdy. It has a metal clip right here. It comes with a little wind block here, and it's a very, very small microphone, so it's easy to hide on your talent if you need to. I also like the design of this clip. It doesn't fit fully on here, so you have to push this little round part here and it slides right on. Also, they make what's called a Rode SmartLav, which is this little plastic thing. I have one somewhere. Hold on. Nah, I'm not going to get into it. And so this is about an $80 to $100, depending on what day you're buying it, lavalier mic. And I've really had no real issues with it. It's not the best lavalier mic I've ever heard, but it's not the worst either. Normally, I would be plugging it into something like this. This is a small Rode Wireless Go, which is a wireless lavalier system. And that's how I would normally do it, but this is $200, and it's the cheapest one I know of that's any good. So we're going to be plugging this straight into the camera, so there's no variables, and you don't have to buy an extra part. The first microphone I found was from a company called Purple Panda, and I saw it of all places on Instagram is where I found it. It's a $25 mic, but it does come with a nice pouch. I actually like this pouch better than I like the Rode pouch because of how small the Rode pouch is. But the Rode pouch is made out of leather or pleather, but it comes with, it looks like a bunch of cords. What looks like an adapter to plug it into like a GoPro. This is the mic itself. Let's set that to a side. Oh, a very long extender, which can come in handy in some situations. And a little mini dead cat. So at first glance, this thing actually looks pretty nice. It's got a very robust clip, a metal clip, which is always important. You can take the clip on and off if you need to, but I don't need to right now, so I'm not going to. And it is a lot bigger than the SmartLav. Let me put these side by side. So it would be a bigger issue hiding it than it would with the Rode SmartLav Plus. But for interviews, it really wouldn't be that bad at all. It seems like the cord's really nice. It's, let's see, this is... Oh, it looks like it is made for cell phones, but it does come with its own adapter to plug it into the camera, which is a plus. You don't have to spend extra money. It also comes with this quick compatibility guide and which adapters you need to plug it into what, which is always handy. So for $25, if this sounds good at all, this is a pretty good deal. And we're going to get to how it sounds here in a minute after we see the other mics on this list. So here's the first from Wish. And it, too, is pretty beefy. It's a pretty big microphone, but it does have a metal clip. It actually looks very similar to the Purple Panda I just saw. Let me compare here. Yeah, it looks identical. So, Purple Panda probably bought these from a Chinese manufacturer, or maybe they're just the same housing. We'll listen to them later and we'll see how they sound. Basically, everything I said for the Purple Panda is going to go for this one too, only it doesn't come with all those adapters and all that other stuff or even a bag. It just came like this. So if that stuff's worth the extra money to you, more power to you. And like I said, we'll find out if they sound the same here in a minute. The second mic I got from Wish is not, I don't have high hopes for this at all. The clip on it is a plastic clip, which is never good, and it's not held in location at all. It's attached to the line and not the mic itself, which is never a good thing because then you can clip it on and the mic can kind of move. It's an all-plastic build. I don't have high hopes for this. It's just a little plastic shield going over a mic. This one I'm probably not going to get my $2 worth. But I guess we're at the point where let's see what they sound like and let's see how much money I wasted. All right, so this is the Rode SmartLav, which is about an $80 microphone. It's a little bit more on the higher end than some of the other mics I'm going to show today. I just wanted you to get a comparison to see what it would sound like. Next up is the Purple Panda lavalier mic, which is much cheaper than the Rode SmartLav, coming in at $25. So I'm very intrigued to see what this sounds like. Like I said before, it actually comes with its own extension cords. And alright, so this is No Name mic number 2 from Wish, and this one actually comes in at under $3. I'm actually surprised it's, just from looking at it and touching it, it at least has a metal clip instead of a little plastic clip. So this is the first no-name lavalier mic from Wish that I found for like $5. Not expecting a lot of this mic. It's pretty cheaply made from what I see, and when I looked at the back of the camera when I plugged it in, it's the first mic so far that didn't come out in stereo. It came out on only the left track. Obviously I can fix that in post, but yeah, I don't know why that happens. Okay, so how many of these mics would I actually buy if I was looking to get into these price points? First off, I love my Deity on-camera microphone. That's why I bought it, and that's why it's sitting on top of my camera now. Would I recommend the Andycine M1? For $30, I think it's much better than the in-camera audio, and for $30, you really can't beat it. Now, with the Lavaliers, maybe I'm missing something, but the Purple Panda mics I was very happy with. I was happy with all the stuff that came with it, and I was happy with the sound that came out of them. I wouldn't use this so much on a film set because it's not quite at that level, and it's hard to hide. But for vlogs or on-camera interviews or stuff like that, yeah, absolutely. Also, if you can find them, the $5 mics from Wish weren't that bad. And for $5, you really can't go wrong. Although I wouldn't recommend the $2.50 mic because that was warmed over garbage. All right, guys, you know what time it is now. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button over there. I found out from YouTube that even if they sell the company to Cyberdyne Technologies, you will not be shocked by that button no matter what the algorithm decides to do in the future. If you like the content here, it really would mean a lot if you hit that subscribe button. It's just real simple, and it really helps this channel move forward, and it really helps me make content if you like this content. If you have any questions about any of these microphones or just want to call me an idiot for buying microphones off Wish, go ahead and leave them in the descriptions below. They're not descriptions, they're comments. Leave them in the comments below as long as you remember. This isn't a competition, guys. Let's all rise in this business together. I'll see you next time. Whee!